Hi, Dr. Darnise here, and I wanted to welcome you into my lifestyle channel. I wanted to talk about creativity. I'm creating a creativity playlist because I want to welcome you all into your own creative process, to invite you to explore those aspects of yourself that maybe you didn't know quite what to do with. You know, you have a lot of responsibilities, you have your job, you have your family, you have, whatever else you might be doing, going to school, taking care of people, all of that. And, in this season, Black women are saying that, we really want to focus on ourselves. We are tired of wearing that cape. We're tired of living out the superwoman syndrome for everybody else. Our cups are empty and we're depleted. One way to fill your cup is to remember that you had, once upon a time, at least at some point, you have had some creative impulses. You have had things that have been calling you. And if you didn't have to think about, money, job, taking care of people, how would you be spending your time? What things might you integrate back into your world that you have set aside? For example, I'm a writer. You can see my books over there. I'm a professor. Well, this time I say I'm a semi-retired college professor, but I have been a college professor for about 18 years now. And so I'm doing that part-time and online now because that suits my life better. I'm also a life coach and I am a writer. And in the world of all of the things that I do, it means that the writing gets put on the back burner a lot. And you may say, well, look, I have three books over there, right? And I've written for other people's books. I've written chapters here. I've done this and I've done that. Yes, yes, yes. But I've got so much more in me to write. I'm working on a novel right now. And I've been working on this novel. You know how people say, I'm working on the great American novel. I've been working on it for years, but it keeps getting put on the back burner. And here's what I want to invite you to do. I want to invite you to think about the things, the projects that you have had on the back burner, or maybe things you dabble in from time to time, but you just can't quite seem to get consistency and momentum. And some of that might be one, it could be for time, of course, but also it could be about self-doubt. It could be, that narrative that we have in our mind that tells us why we can't. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? You're not very good. Nobody's going to read your stuff. Nobody's going to like what you make. Um, you maybe you cook. Maybe you're a great cook. And it's like, yeah, people like my cooking, my family, I take, baked goods to my office and everybody loves it. But if I tried to sell it, like nobody would really buy it. That's the kind of mental stuff that we have to get past when we are creating our art, whatever it is. Whatever it is that you do or want to do that feeds your soul, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. One is, why aren't you doing it? And really allow that answer to present itself to you, because the inside voices can be saying a number of things, can be stacking up all of these reasons why not. And so I want you to ask also, whose voice is that? Is that your voice? Is that a parent voice? Is that, a teacher from long ago, right, who told you that you couldn't do this, you didn't do this well? I mean, I can't draw to save my life, right? And I remember at some point some teacher told me that, oh, you really can't draw, right? And so, of course, I grew up thinking I can't draw. I mean, I didn't really think I could draw in the first place. But, when you have an authority figure tell you that you can't do something, then we tend to take that in as children anyway. But as we keep living life, we can come back to it, right? We can remind ourselves, like, those people are not the boss of me, or at least they're not the boss of me anymore. And I can explore those things if I really want to. So, maybe you want to journal and just really think about, what is my artistic contribution? Do I have an artistic skill? And if it's not about a skill or selling it, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a goal of selling it. You don't have to monetize everything, right? We don't have to side hustle everything. We don't have to side hustle everything. You can if you want to, but it can just be for your own joy. It can be just for your own pleasure because this is how you release stress, or this is just what you like to do, right? Some people I know at the holiday season, they do bake. And so at that time, they take orders only during the holidays, right? From November till like the middle of December, they take orders for like cakes and pies and cookies. because they like to. But by the end of December, they're done, right? They're just fed up with the whole thing, right? But they do it for fun, and they're not even trying to sell it, right? So it could just be for fun. But if you have something you're like, no, I'm going to sell my cookies, I'm going to sell my cupcakes or whatever, great. Or you're writing on you're working on articles on a book, and you really have a long-term goal to sell it, great. But what I want you to do is just get in touch with it. Get in touch with what it is or what it was, and then listen to whatever is in your mind that tells you you can't. Only for the purpose of identifying it and trying to identify where it originally came from. Again, an authority figure who told you you couldn't. You don't, maybe you have the idea, well, I can't be a starving artist. Fair. That is fair to say. And so you don't have to quit your day job and, go into a painting studio or become a dancer. But guess what? You get to integrate it. That's my whole point. My whole goal here is to say you get to explore your own creative interests, and you don't need permission. You just get to do it, right? And so I'm inviting you on my creative journey because I'm going to put some more videos here. And I've got some videos throughout the whole internet, I feel like, about my creative process. But I wanted to streamline them and put them in a playlist to, help other people who are, I don't know, trying to get their confidence, trying to have some inspiration, some motivation on writing in particular, because that's what I do, right? So I'll probably be speaking mostly about writing and about books and, just the process of getting written work done. But if you are engaged in any other type of artwork, you can use this for inspiration too, I would hope. Mainly, I want to say the reason we say it's because of time and other commitments, but mostly underneath all that, it's our own self-doubt. Even if we've sold, I mean, I know people who, they paint as a hobby and they have sold a few pieces and they still don't think of themselves as a real artist. They're like, well, I'm not a real artist. No, you are. You really are. The only thing that keeps you from being a real whatever fill in the blank is your idea about what's a real artist and what you're doing. But if you're actively in your creative mode, you're a real creative, right? Let's just say we are creatives. I am a creative entrepreneur. I don't know if you're an entrepreneur. We are creatives. Let's just own that. We are creatives. The difference is if you're only talking about it, oh, one of these days I'm gonna, oh, one of these days I'm gonna, and you never do it, you never pick up a paintbrush, you never pick up the pen, you never get online, on your laptop and do it. If you never do it, then yeah, you're not really a creative yet. You're an aspiring creative. You're an aspiring creative, and that's fine too. Maybe you just need a little encouragement to do it. But if you're trying and doing it at all, then you are a creative. So come on in, join me. Let me know what your particular form of art is. I'd love to hear in the comments what it is that you do, what it is you're aspiring to do. Don't feel bad if you're like, I'm aspiring. That's fine. I mean, I know people who are an aspiring astrologer. I mean, astrology is my hobby. I don't really say that I'm an aspiring astrologer because I'm not really trying to learn how to do charts and all of that in a great detail. But I know some people who do, right? So they're an aspiring astrologer because they're in the process of learning. So the field is wide. What is it that lights you up? What is it that, you feel like if you didn't have to think about money, if that was not a concern for you, what would you do? How would you spend your time? Right? When you get around maybe young children and if you babysit or you have grandkids or your own children, um, and you get down on the floor with them or you play with them, what are you doing? Right? Get in touch with that child within you who's still there. So I'm going to leave it there for now. Again, I invite you to put here what are your creative interests and what way do you think you are an artist, and really begin to think about why it is you haven't fully stepped into it. Whose voice might be holding you back? Because you don't have to listen to it anymore. You are a creative. All right. Bye for now.